Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you very much to everybody for joining again for this Damodar Leela series. We've had two blissful sessions or episodes. In one of them, we discussed why did Mother Yashoda personally churn the butter. And in the second episode also, we very nicely discussed that why did Mother Yashoda stop feeding Krishna? Today's session's topic of discussion is why did Lord Krishna become angry with Mother Yashoda? Before I begin this session, I would like to offer this session for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual masters, and all the teachers who have helped me to understand the essence of Krishna consciousness. I would like to offer this session, hoping and praying that this insignificant effort would give them some pleasure. I also hope and pray that this would give some pleasure to the assembled devotees. And I hope and pray that this will render some purification to my heart also. And in order to achieve these spiritual aspirations, I would like to offer my prayers, the pranam mantras, by which I would like to seek their blessings. Those who know, they can join me in these prayers. Those who don't, please try to hear it attentively. By the way, I just want to reconfirm. Hope you are able to hear me clearly and see me properly. Can you give me some signal, please? Okay, thank you very much. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Very happy to meet all of you again. Today's topic of discussion is why did Lord Krishna become angry with Mother Yashoda? So we are discussing the Damodar Leela. We saw how Mother Yashoda was a little bit fed up and frustrated by the complaints which were coming from the gopis. And so she decided to personally churn the butter for Krishna. She decorated herself on the day of Deepavali, woke up at 3:30 a.m., entered the kitchen and started churning butter out of the yogurt. And this yogurt was made from the from the milk of Padmagandha cows. It was Padmagandha milk. However, being pleased with the earnest, sincere desire of Mother Yashoda to please Krishna, Lord Krishna also woke up early that day. Not finding his mother next to him, he felt bad. And then he came and stopped his mother instantly from making butter by directly holding the churning rod. Mother Yashoda was very impressed with Krishna and the intelligence of Krishna. And then Krishna expressed his hunger. Tam stanya kama asadya. He wanted to drink the milk from Mother Yashoda's breast. Even without waiting for any signal or invitation, Lord Krishna jumped into the laps of Mother Yashoda and started drinking milk. We also heard how a transcendental competition was going between Mother Yashoda and Lord Krishna. The devotee was trying to serve the Lord, and the Lord was trying to serve the devotee in that beautiful transcendental competition. And at that time, we heard that how Mother Yashoda heard the sound of the Padma Gandha milk. The Padma Gandha milk, just like I explained in the previous session, that in the spiritual world, in the holy abode of the Lord, everything has a conscience. The milk has the conscience, the trees have a conscience, the rice has conscience, the rope has a conscience, the pot has a conscience, the mortar has a conscience. And today we will see how the stick with which Mother Yashoda would try to beat Krishna also has a conscience. So this Padma Gandha milk started thinking that Krishna, for such a long time, he has been drinking milk from Mother Yashoda. There is hardly any chance that he will accept me in his service now. And if I cannot serve Lord Krishna, then what is the point of my existence? If I can't serve Krishna, then why am I alive? Like that, the Padma Gandha milk started thinking. And it started overflowing from the vessel, falling into the fire of the stove, thinking that let me commit suicide. Sometimes it's mentioned in the writings of various acharyas. The spiritual world is a really wonderful place. Mother Yashoda is so much engrossed in the service of Krishna that sometimes she just asks the rice, "Oh, my dear rice, are you cooked?" It's Krishna's time to return after he spends the entire day with the cows outside. So when he returns after grazing the cows, Mother Yashoda just asks the rice, "Are you ready?" So the rice will reply, "Oh, no, I'm not ready. I need some more time, Mother." Or sometimes the rice may reply, "Okay, I'm already cooked. Please take me and kindly process me further." So that is the spiritual world. And that is the spiritual anxiety which Mother Yashoda has. And everybody shares that anxiety with Mother Yashoda. So spiritual world is full of Krishna conscious entities. Even the rice and the milk are Krishna conscious. So Mother Yashoda ran to protect the milk. And in the previous episode, we saw some reasons. Briefly, if we could reiterate them, the reasons were that sometimes two services could be coinciding or clashing with each other. So sometimes, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, the Lord gives intelligence to the devotee to prioritize and handle both the services. So that was one of the reasons why she put Lord Krishna aside and went to save the milk. Second was the humility of Mother Yashoda. She was thinking that just like I'm trying to serve Krishna, this milk is also a devotee and is trying to serve Krishna. So let me give this devotee also a chance to serve Krishna. Let me save that devotee who's trying to commit a suicide by thinking that the devotee cannot be engaged in Krishna's service. The milk cannot be engaged. So let me try to save a devotee. So she kept Lord Krishna aside and ran to save the milk. And then lastly, she was trying to protect the interests of Krishna, the wealth of Krishna. Being cowherds, the wealth of Krishna and everybody else in that community was milk, yogurt, ghee, butter, etc. Now, since Krishna was the prince of the cowherd community, it was his wealth which was being destroyed or which was getting wasted. And Krishna was not mature enough to protect his wealth, so she did she kept Krishna aside, and in order to protect the wealth and the interests of Krishna, for a moment, she disassociated with Krishna and kept him aside and ran to save the milk. She could have carried Krishna with him, but she was afraid that Krishna is a naughty child. First of all, I need to be quick, Mother Yashoda was thinking. And it's very risky to take the child in the kitchen. He may touch something, he may get burnt, he may just put his hand somewhere. So although Mother Yashoda had an intention to please Krishna, but apparently when she put Krishna aside, it displeased Krishna. This whole activity was displeasing to Krishna, and Krishna became very unhappy and very angry. So that's where we begin today's discussion. Why did Lord Krishna become angry with Mother Yashoda? And I would like to begin this session by showing you the very beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. I would like to share my screen today. So this is from the 10th canto, chapter 9, shloka number 6. Sanjatakopaha spuritarunardharam sandasya dadbhe dadhimantha bhajanam bhitva mrishasur dashadasmanaraho jaghasa hayyan gavamantaram gatah. Being very angry and biting his reddish lips with his teeth, Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. Then he entered a room and began to eat freshly churned butter in a solitary place. So basically, Krishna started crying. Very angry. Sanjata kopaha spurita runadharam. He was biting his reddish lips. So his lips are described to be like the bimba fruit. One of the acharyas comment that Krishna's lips represent the mode of passion and his white pearl-like teeth represent the mode of goodness. So he curtailed his mode of passion. He was very angry. So he curtailed his mode of passion with his mode of goodness and then continued in his transcendental consciousness. So being very angry and biting his reddish lips with tears in his eyes, he broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. And then he entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter in a solitary place. And it is mentioned in the later verses that he was distributing it to the monkeys also. So now there is a very important point which needs to be discussed. When Krishna and Balram went to the wrestling arena of Kamsa, there he met many mountain-like big wrestlers who were world conquerors. Shal, Toshal, Koot, Chanur, Mushtik. And these wrestlers were instructed by Kamsa to kill Krishna and Balram. And with a lot of feeling of enmity, with a lot of feeling of hatred, sense of duty and purpose, and also some enviousness, they came and stood in front of Krishna and Balram with a desire to kill them. But Krishna and Balram, when they fought these wrestlers, they became very happy. They derived the Virya Rasa in fighting with these wrestlers. They derived a transcendental pleasure in fighting with these wrestlers. But here is Mother Yashoda, who's trying to serve Krishna. We saw the reasons why she tried to save the milk. She has no enviousness against Krishna in her heart. She doesn't hate Krishna. She doesn't want to harm Krishna. She has all the good intentions for Krishna. Here, Shal, Toshal, Koot, Chanur, Mushtik, they want to kill Krishna, but Krishna seems to be pleased with them. But here, Mother Yashoda, her entire existence is dedicated for the pleasure of Krishna, but here Krishna seems to be displeased with Mother Yashoda. How to understand? Who is the better devotee? Is it Shal, Toshal, Chanur, or Mushtik? or is it Mother Yashoda? So the answer to this question also answers the title question of today's episode or today's session. Why did Lord Krishna become angry? Is his anger external or is it internal? How to understand that? So the first point which we need to understand is that Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. He does not see the externals. He sees the intention or the mood with which the activity was being done. Otherwise, why would he reject the best food cooked by the best chefs of the world in the house of Duryodhana when Lord Krishna went as a peace messenger to Hastinapur? He rejected the best food, the best externals given by Duryodhana. And he went to the house of Vidura and ate very simple food, which was not very opulent, at least externally. But it had a lot of love and devotion internally, intentionally. But in case of Duryodhana, there was no intention of love and there was no interior emotion of service also. So Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan, not external Grahi Janardhan or the magnitude of service Grahi Janardhan. No, he's just Bhavagrahi Janardhan. So Krishna is very expert in seeing the Bhava. So the service, see now Krishna is very expert in deriving transcendental pleasure in the form of service, even amongst envious enemies like Kamsa or these wrestlers, Shal, Toshal, Kut, Chanur, Mushtik. That is the expertise of Krishna. Like when he's dealing with Putana, it is the expertise of Krishna which basically empowers him to find something good. Even if the person who's approaching him does not has the best intention to serve, Krishna finds some excuse and gives them the best result. That is the expertise of Krishna. But what to speak of devotees? For example, if Putana came with a desire to kill Krishna, she was awarded the position of a dhatri, or the assistant to a mother in the spiritual world. What to speak of Mother Yashoda and those who are intentionally every day trying to serve Krishna with love and devotion and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. What to speak of the destination of those devotees? So here, the displeasure of Krishna is actually the internal pleasure of Krishna. He is very, very pleased from within, seeing the behavior of Mother Yashoda. This is very much in line with the philosophy of pure devotional service given by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada in the Nectar of Devotion. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. The translation of this verse says, Anyabhilashita shunyam. Give up all other desires. We are not Buddhists. We do not say that desire is the root cause of sorrow, so just make zero all your desires. No, we say that you give up the material desires and cultivate hundreds, thousands, millions, crores of spiritual desires. Anya abhilashita shunyam. Every other desire other than the desire to please Guru and Krishna should be shunya. But we are not stones. We want to have many, many spiritual aspirations and desires. Yesterday, I was reading the prayers of Akrura while he was entering Vrindavan. If we read that prayers, we see Akrura in the mood of humility also has so many spiritual aspirations that I'll do this, I'll offer obeisances like this, Krishna will put his hand on my head, and I'm very happy, I'm going to take darshan. See, he has so many spiritual aspirations, he has so many desires. So, anya bhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadhyanavritam. One has to give up the endeavor to become a jnani or a karmi, and different kinds of, other than bhakti, karma, jnana, yoga has to be given up. One cannot be taking shelter of them other than bhakti. And then anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. One has to render devotional service to Krishna with a desire to please Krishna. Now, Putana, Chanur, Mushtik, Shal, Toshal, Kut, all these people, they may have given some pleasure to Krishna, but whatever they did not do it with a desire, intentional desire to please Krishna. Hence, Although Krishna very expertly derived some pleasure out of their activity and converted them into a service, but that service cannot be called as a pure devotional service, because these candidates, such as Putana, Shal, Toshal, etc., they did not had a desire to please Krishna. So the pure devotional service means anukullena Krishnanushilalam. We have to serve Krishna as he likes, with a desire to please Krishna. And this service should be a practical devotional service, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. That is the meaning of anushilanam. We should not do imaginary devotional service. We should do something practical, and that should be guided by the predecessor acharyas or the present acharyas. So Mother Yashoda's service falls in the category of pure devotional service, because she's trying to please Krishna, serve Krishna with a desire to please Krishna, and she's doing what is bona fide. So, but then the question is, why is Lord Krishna very angry? Let's try to understand this. As soon as Mother Yashoda kept Lord Krishna aside and tried to run into the kitchen, very expertly, Lord Krishna, first of all, he started crying. And then he felt bad. Krishna wants exclusive attention. He's an exclusive lover. And then he took a stone. He found a stone. He bit his lips like this. And then he found a stone from somewhere. And then very expertly, he made a hole in the pot which contained the Padmagandha milk, which from morning 3:30 Mother Yashoda was engaged with. The hole was made in such a way such that not much sound also came. Mother Yashoda was there in the kitchen rectifying the Padmagandha milk. So Krishna, being an expert thief, knows how to break things very nicely. It is described that the gopis would hide their butter pots somewhere. They would keep it hanging from a ceiling. So how will a 3-year-old boy get it? But Krishna would make a human ladder and then get on top of everybody, and then he would break the butter pot and let it leak. And so skillfully he will break that everybody will get the butter also. Sometimes when he does not have his team with him, he just takes a stick and knows how to drill a hole into the pot so that the entire pot also doesn't break, but the butter starts leaking, and then he will just stand like this in the position of Vithala, and then he will very nicely taste the butter. And he has many monkeys also in his party. Sometimes the gopis, they would hide the butter in a dark place. But then Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Na tad bhashayate suryo na shashanko na pavakah yadgatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mamah." My dear Arjuna, there is no need of sun, there is no need of moon, there is no need of fire, there is no need of electricity in my spiritual abode. Indirectly, Krishna is telling that everything in the spiritual world is self-effulgent because of my presence there. So when that supremely effulgent Lord would go into any dark room, simply by his presence, he would illuminate everything and find out where the butter is and eat it. So the point which I'm trying to say is that Krishna was very expert at stealing butter. So very expertly, without making much noise and without breaking the entire pot, he made a hole and let the milk, Padmagandha milk, spread all around. Some part of it had become butter, some part of it was still milk. He let it spread around. And he started crying. Now the acharyas explain that now, after breaking the pot, when Krishna is crying, he's actually genuinely crying. Now Krishna was a very mischievous boy. Many times when Mother Yashoda would scold him, just to avoid beatings, sometimes he would just shed some false tears, crocodile tears. I have seen many children who do that. There are two kinds of children. Those who actually cry when they are being chastised, and those who just shout at the top of their voice and hardly a tear comes out. But Krishna was good at both. He knew how to shout also, he knew how to cry also, he knew how to shed false tears also. But today, somehow in the entire Damodar Leela, Krishna is genuinely crying all the time. When he gets up, he sees Mother Yashoda is not next to him. He feels the absence of Mother Yashoda and is crying. And then he comes and then gets a little milk, and then when he sees that he's neglected, he starts crying. Now, a person's integrity is tested by seeing what he's doing when no one is around him. Now, Krishna may shed false tears in the presence of Mother Yashoda. But right now, Mother Yashoda is not there. She's there in the kitchen. Nobody is watching Krishna. And if nobody is seeing, and if still he's crying due to feeling his mother's neglect, that means they are genuine tears. And the acharyas have commented that these are genuine tears and he is genuinely crying. Please try to understand the position of Krishna. It's mentioned in the 7th chapter, shloka number 7. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvam midam protam sutre maniganaiva. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. O Dhananjaya, O Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me, and everything rests on me. The exact translation is, O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me, everything rests upon me, as pearls are strung on a thread. Sutre maniganaiva. So a beautiful necklace becomes very beautiful when you actually don't see the thread in it. That is like fully loaded. Then it's a beautiful necklace. So Krishna has created this entire universe in such a way that until and unless one has anointed their eyes with the ointment of love, they cannot see the hand of Krishna anywhere. It's such a beautiful creation. Everything seems to be happening automatically. That is the supreme intelligence of Krishna. And he's telling, Matta parataran nanya. There is no truth superior to me. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate. So that personality who is Swarat, who is Atmaram, who does not need anybody other than himself to feel happy, that creator, maintainer, destroyer, enjoyer, Purusha, supreme absolute truth, is sitting in one place and crying. At the same time, he is angry also. So if he is the foundation of everything, why is he crying and why is he feeling bad and why is he angry? The answer is, he is crying. Although he's God, he's profusely crying because presently he has assumed the mood of a human infant or a human child, and he wants to completely relish that rasa of crying as a human being or as a small child in the form of a human being in this Leela, in this pastime. So keeping aside all the designations which Krishna has, creator, destroyer, maintainer, supreme absolute truth, whatever, God, master, enjoyer, Purusha, he's just sitting and crying, and his only mood is that I am the son of Mother Yashoda. And I want to experience the love of Mother Yashoda by crying to get her attention. I just want to experience that. So that is the job description of Krishna. He just wants to taste the various rasas. That's why he's called as Akhil Rasamrita Murti or Akhil Rasamrita Sindhu. When Krishna comes out of his house early in the morning, when he meets a calf, all he thinks is that how can I completely reciprocate with this calf and have an ecstatic, emotional, spiritual emotional exchange with this cow or calf. Similarly, when he meets Mother Yashoda, that is what he wants to experience. He wants to experience the rasa of the love of Mother Yashoda by crying as a human being. Similarly, when he meets the gopis, he wants to experience the rasa of Madhurya by engaging with the gopis. Similarly, when he meets the deer or the parrots or his friends or the mountains such as Govardhan, he wants to experience and have a 100% reciprocating exchange such that the person or the entity with which Krishna is exchanging the rasa becomes 100% satisfied. So here the mood is that I am the son of Mother Yashoda and I want to experience the love of Mother Yashoda. He's thinking, Mother Yashoda's love for me is so deep, so genuine. To the degree to which my mother's love for me is genuine, at least to that degree, let me make my tears genuine. So that to the degree to which Mother Yashoda's love is genuine, to that degree, the tears of Krishna were also genuine in this Damodar Leela pastime. And Krishna is angry and he's crying. That means he is valuing the love of Mother Yashoda and his love for him. So he broke the pot. He's angry because of feeling neglect from Mother Yashoda's behavior. And now he's crying because he wants to completely experience the love of Krishna. And then he's also afraid of Mother Yashoda because he's a child presently. And feeling the fear that, oh, what did I do? I have broken the pot. I did that to express my dissatisfaction from my mother's behavior, but it looks like my mother will be angry. So what should I do now? In order to evoke more intense feeling of Vatsalya in the heart of Mother Yashoda, let me just run away from here somewhere. So he started walking around, deciding what to do next, stamping the milk and the butter which was spread out. And then he went to the next room. He continued his crying. He was still very unhappy that why my mother is treating me like this. And he was incessantly crying. Damodar Ashtakam says that when he was crying, his conch shell-like neck was completely moving inside and outside due to breathlessness. And all the mascara which he had put in his eyes had been spread out due to his wiping of his tears. And these were genuine tears. This was not some false tears which, with having that supreme consciousness he's shedding. No, he is genuinely afraid of Mother Yashoda because he wants to experience that rasa. And he's genuinely crying to evoke Vatsalya, deeper Vatsalya emotions, and now has run away to increase the Vatsalya prema of Mother Yashoda. But when he has run away, he has left some butter footprints here and there, clearly showing the direction in the room in which he has gone. So Mother Yashoda was there in the kitchen. She was rectifying the Padmagandha milk. And then when she came out, she saw the entire milk was spread out on the floor. Now in Vrindavan, various monkeys also keep entering the house. So monkeys also create ruckus and a lot of calamity. The monkeys also break some pots. But Mother Yashoda, when she analyzed the way this pot was broken, she understood that it is the work of some expert. So she rectified, she understood that Krishna has done this, and she was a little bit amused also, at the same time little angry also. Because since the morning, she has been churning the yogurt and she's trying to do all this for Krishna, but the child has just woken up and destroyed everything. So she wanted to teach a lesson to Krishna to discipline him. And this she was doing out of motherly affection, not out of any hatred or enviousness. Motherly affection. So she could see the butter footprints in the house and she could understand that Krishna is sitting in the neighboring room. Now when Mother Yashoda tiptoed into that room, she found Nand Baba's stick next to her, just lying outside the room. Generally, Nand Maharaj would go on a morning walk and would take the stick with him. But today, somehow he forgot that stick. Mother Yashoda, out of motherly affection, trying to make her son a gentleman and discipline him, picked up that stick to chastise him. The stick of Nand Maharaj was thinking, being a conscious entity just like the others, was thinking, what is my fault? Every day, I go with Nand Maharaj, but today, my dear Lord Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, but somehow or the other, I have fallen into the hands of Mother Yashoda. and I don't know what mother will do with me. Whatever she does, please forgive me. It is not me, but the mother doing it. With that intention, the stick went into the hand of Mother Yashoda. And Lord Krishna went into the room and saw the butter which was made yesterday. He thought, let me steal yesterday's butter, hoping that it will be stale. And he thought that if I will eat yesterday's butter, then probably by eating yesterday's butter, I'll fall sick. And if I fall sick, then mother will have to take me to various Vaid and various doctors. And taking me to various doctors will give a lot of unnecessary work and extra endeavor to my mother. So in that way, I will punish my mother. But then as he started to eat that yesterday's butter, which was kept in the room, immediately many monkeys came into that room. Krishna immediately remembered that these monkeys, they helped me so much when I incarnated myself as Lord Ram. I put them to very difficult tasks. I asked them to fight wars for me. I asked them to make a bridge for me. Let me just give them some pleasure now. Let me just nourish them now. So he asked all the monkeys to stand in one line. And all the monkeys, they stood like this in one line. And then just like a bus conductor gives the ticket and asks the person to move, similarly, Krishna was giving the butter to the monkeys, making a hand signal to move. The monkey was taking the butter, moving out. Then next monkey was coming. And Mother Yashoda was seeing this through the latticed window, or the window which has holes from outside, with a stick in her hand. And she's thinking that my son is so easily able to control the monkeys. That's because my son is like a monkey. So I need to teach him a lesson. Although Mother Yashoda was very much amused and very much pleased to see the divine activities of her child, but on her mind right now, the biggest priority was to make her child, the prince of Vrindavan, into a gentleman. However, when she came a little bit closer, she saw that Lord Krishna was sitting in a swastik asana on a wooden mortar. She was thinking in her mind, such a small child, 3 years old, who taught him this swastik asana? Immediately the wind whispered in her ears that his name is Yogeshwara and he's the master of all mystic yoga. There's nobody to teach him. He knows everything on his own. The Mother Yashoda couldn't understand who's speaking. Krishna was very, very careful. He was very alert. He was angry, trying to experience the love of his mother. He was crying to evoke deeper Vatsalya emotions in the heart of his mother. But at the same time, he was very careful. Constantly, he was looking here and there and behind. He was afraid that, yes, Mother Yashoda may come any moment. But he was also wanting to love the monkeys. So he was feeding them. And then the same wind went and whispered in the ears of Lord Krishna that, look behind you. Mother Yashoda is coming. So you may better protect yourself. So immediately, Lord Krishna saw the image of Mother Yashoda in the eyeballs of one of the monkeys. And then he stopped the butter distribution and jumped from a very high mortar down. When he jumped, a 3-year-old boy, Mother Yashoda thought maybe the legs of my son will break. So she lost all her anger in that very moment. And she started caring for her child. But the child didn't stop after jumping. He started running outside. Now, Lord Krishna was thinking that, I'm about to get some beating now. And every day in the morning, many people used to come to take darshan of Krishna, and Nan Maharaj would also be sitting outside. So he thought that if I will run towards the main gate of the palace, there will be so many people. Nan Maharaj would also be there. And in public, it is very difficult for mother to beat me because my mother is a cultured woman. She cannot beat me just like that in public. But he forgot one thing, that this day was the Deepavali day. On the day of Deepavali, Nand Maharaj had some special affairs to look into. So he had left home very early. And all the others were also engaged in cleaning and decorating their houses and doing various rituals. Even Mother Rohini and Balram were not in Nand Bhavan. Krishna knew that if Balram is there, then there is no way that Lord Krishna can enact this Damodar Leela. There's no way in which he can feel the supreme ecstatic, topmost Vatsalya love of Mother Yashoda. And there is no way in which he can further enliven the heart of Mother Yashoda through this pastime. So very expertly, on the previous day, he went to the house of Upananda, the brother of Nand Maharaj, and told him to invite Nand Maharaj, Mother Rohini and Balram for some special activity. So in the previous night only, and some in the morning, they had left for Upananda's house. So neither Mother Rohini was there, neither Balram was there, neither Nand Baba was there. And he was thinking, at least the other people will be there at the gate to help me. But they were also not there. So when he came out running, he saw nobody is there. And now he was very, very afraid. Lord Krishna started crying more profusely. Never in his life, I repeat, never in his life till now, he had seen his mother so angry, and he had seen Mother Yashoda never before with a stick in his hand, in her hand. Words cannot describe the kind of emotions and the kind of helpless feeling and the kind of eeriness which Lord Krishna was experiencing in his heart. He was thinking, my mother, she wants to hit me. My mother will hit me. And he could not believe himself. And he was feeling very, very low and very, very sad. As he was running, the teardrops were falling from his eyes on the floor also. And Mother Yashoda was running behind him with a stick in her hand. So the chase begins. Mother Yashoda is chasing Lord Krishna. She is thinking, why is my son so naughty? I need to discipline him. But now she's afraid. Krishna has become angry at me also. Will he leave me forever and go away? I have shown some anger. I do not think he will understand the love which is behind my anger. The Vatsalya, or the paternal affection, motherly love with which I am trying to discipline. I don't know if he'll understand that. Will he leave me and go away? The degree to which Lord Krishna was feeling sadness, to the same degree and genuineness, Mother Yashoda was also feeling emptiness and eeriness in her heart as she was chasing Lord Krishna. And this chase is a wonderful chase. The Malti flowers which she had put in her head were thinking, how great is the love of Mother Yashoda. Out of unadulterated love, Putra Sneh, she is trying to teach a lesson to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Her love is so uncontaminated and free of awe and reverence and imbued with intimacy that she is ready to chase the Supreme Personality of Godhead whom no one can catch. We do not, the flowers are thinking, we do not deserve to be on the head of Mother Yashoda. Let us fall on her feet. So the Malti flowers started falling. The hair started becoming disheveled as she was chasing. Now this chase is a very wonderful chase. I want to keep an entire session describing the chase. So this wonderful chase of Mother Yashoda behind Krishna, we will see in the next episode or in the next session. The title of which will be, Why Did Mother Yashoda Decide to Bind Krishna? That we will see in the next episode. So with that, I would like to end or conclude today's discussion. If there are any questions, comments, or reflections, they are welcome. You can either raise your hand and we can unmute you, or else if you want to say something in the chat box, you can also do that. If any reflections are there. So in the meantime, what I will do, I will quickly recapitulate today's discussion. So we saw that Lord Krishna, Mother Yashoda was personally churning butter for Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna became hungry, stopped the churning of the butter, and then tried to drink some milk from Mother Yashoda. But then she heard the boiling of the Padmagandha milk, so she kept Lord Krishna aside and went to save the interest of Krishna or the wealth of Krishna. She went to save the devotees, a devotee's service, that is the Padmagandha milk, and she tried to adjust the priorities according to the intelligence which Krishna himself gave her. But in doing so, Krishna became seemingly externally unhappy, but internally very pleased, because the intention of Mother Yashoda was to serve Krishna. However, to increase the Vatsalya emotions of Mother Yashoda and to further become absorbed and lost and forgotten in the love, not forgotten, completely absorbed and lost in the love of Mother Yashoda, he started crying. The degree to which the love of Mother Yashoda was genuine, to that degree the tears of Lord Krishna were also genuine. And in order to experience the love of Mother Yashoda and value the love of Mother Yashoda, he assumed the mood of an infant human being and started crying very, very profusely. Simultaneously, he was very angry. So in order to further deepen this rasa exchange, he takes up a stone and makes a very expertly, he makes a hole without breaking the entire pot and without making much noise into the pot of yogurt, and makes everything spread across and runs into the room, still angry, still crying, finds yesterday's butter and starts feeding the monkeys with a desire to teach Mother Yashoda a lesson. Mother Yashoda, initially amused at the activity of Krishna, but wants to try to make her son a gentleman. So she tries to pick up the stick of Nan Maharaja and teach him a lesson, teach Lord Krishna a lesson. However, before this, we also discussed that how we discussed the Anyabhilashita Shunyam verse, where we explained that Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. Although when he was fighting with Putana, Chanur, Mushtik, Shal, Toshal, Kut, Kamsa, he seemed to get some pleasure, Veera Rasa. But that cannot be called as pure devotional service, because the people who were involved, they did not have a desire to please Krishna. But here Mother Yashoda had the desire to please Krishna, and with that she was rendering service. So although Lord Krishna is pleased while fighting with demons, but internally he's not so pleased. He's just trying to save them, bless them, and give them some spiritual credit. But here he is extremely, extremely pleased with Mother Yashoda and wants to further reciprocate and deepen the rasa exchange with her. Although externally he seems to be very unhappy, dissatisfied, and angry, but internally he is extremely pleased and wants to experience this pleasure more and more. So with genuine tears, he starts crying, and he runs into the other room. And then Mother Yashoda picks up a stick trying to teach a lesson to him. But then he feels more eeriness in his heart when he sees his mother with a stick in her hand. And then in order to save himself from the beatings of his mother, he actually feels afraid. That's why Mother Kunti in the first canto says that she was bewildered to see how fear personified is afraid by the name of Krishna, how the same personality Krishna was afraid of Mother Yashoda. So the clue or the mystery here is that Lord Krishna wanted to feel afraid, keeping aside all his designations of being God, creator, maintainer, destroyer, enjoyer, Purusha, Bhoktaram. He wanted to keep everything aside and just wanted to remember that I am the son of Mother Yashoda, and I want to value her love and reciprocate with her, and I want to experience these emotions, these rasas. So in that mood, he was feeling very bad that my mother is trying to beat me. And in order to save himself, he started running out towards the main gate. And Mother Yashoda started chasing him. So at this point, I would like to conclude today's discussion. And I see that some points have come in the chat box. I would like to take that. So some devotees are saying that the love and the fear of stick, which was picked up by Mother Yashoda and asking of forgiveness from Krishna, pure devotional service to please Krishna, that should be the aim of life. Yes. So we are all trying to understand and trying to explore that only through this Damodar Leela series. We cannot understand this Damodar Leela until we get the blessings of Lord Krishna and Mother Yashoda herself. So let's end today's discussion, hoping and praying that we will get a fraction of mercy of Mother Yashoda and Lord Krishna himself, so that just we may also be able to render some service unto the lotus feet of Krishna and to the lotus feet of our spiritual masters. On that note, I conclude today's discussion. We are amidst the chase of Mother Yashoda, how she's chasing Krishna. And this chase will be further described in the next episode, the title of which is, Why Did Mother Yashoda Decide to Bind Krishna? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.